Coach, just looking at the game film, you guys second look at Dylan Gabriel. What do you think of his performance?
I thought there were a lot of positives. Said it after the ball game. He was pretty decisive with the football and had his eyes in the right place. A couple throws that he'd like back, and a couple things in protection too that broke down that forced him to deliver the ball earlier. He was in a tough situation. So pretty pleased with what he did, and I thought he managed the game, took care of the football, all those things. So all in all, happy. Obviously, we want to complete a higher percentage than we did.
This team wants to push the ball down the field in the passing game. I think 8 of Dylan's first 13 throws had a depth of target of 20 yards or more. Is that by design? And then what does that really tell you about him?
Some of it is by design, absolutely. Going into it, wanting to push the ball down the football field. Some of that was also the situations that we were in. You guys have seen us for a year now. We're going to be aggressive. We're going to push the ball down the football field and give our guys out on the perimeter a chance to go make plays.
What will be the biggest things that Dylan take away from this game, seeing more pressure and all that stuff going into this week's game at Stanford?
Anytime you're playing quarterback, the more reps you get, the more live snaps, it's going to help you continue to improve. And that's true for any of our quarterbacks. A year ago, you saw DJ really improve from first week against East Carolina to when he got his next live action against USF for the conference championship game, so for Dylan, he's going to continue to improve as well. Time on task, seeing variable looks, all those things are going to continue to help him or whoever the quarterback is. DJ started practicing at the end of last week, and I was clear today for this week as well. So, all those guys will continue to improve with the more time that they get.
Josh, along those lines, is there any update on Brandon Winbush's status, and do you think he'll be able to play this weekend against Stanford?
We'll get final word on Brandon tomorrow, but I believe he'll have an opportunity to play in this game as well.
Coach, what are the biggest hurdles, I guess, for Daryl Mack coming back after not going through camp?
I think some of that not going through camp, right? So there's some reps that have been missed. Last couple of weeks, though, he's been throwing routes on there, been moving, doing escape drills, and making sure his conditioning, his movement is where we need it to be. He's been super engaged in all of our meetings throughout it. He's been coaching those guys up. He's got as much experience, really more experience than anybody that we got in that room of playing within our offense.
Josh, is Brandon hurt? Is he injured? Was he injured?
I said it after the ball game. He wasn't medically ready to go for the ball game. So
is he cleared this week?
I just answered that question. We'll finalize that tomorrow.
Coach, as Matt gets healthier and Winbush, maybe healthy this week, and you have Gabriel as well, is there a possibility that one of those quarterbacks like Winbush might line up at like a wide receiver position, or are they all just quarterbacks?
Our guys are quarterbacks.
Coach, it seems like there's been a trend of more and more true freshman quarterbacks, seeing action. Obviously, there's Dylan, but look across the country. Has anything changed in your opinion when you look at quarterbacks coming out of high school?
20 years ago, it's completely different, right? Early enrollees, I think, is the first thing, right? They get an opportunity to go through an off-season, spring ball, essentially another off-season, and by the time they get to training camp, I'm gonna call them a veteran. They have their feet on the ground and understand what they're doing. Completely different than somebody that shows up at the beginning of June. I think quarterback training over the last 20 years has completely changed. And kids are further along in their growth of a development as a quarterback, and so that gives them the opportunity to go play at a really high level.
Josh, how important has it been? You got guys like Darryl, McKenzie, guys who've had experience when it comes to helping Dylan along. Being able to have them there to maybe provide a little bit of balance. Even Brandon as well to provide that experience and balance, right?
Yeah, I just think at the end of the day, one, we wish we had all those guys playing, right? But two, I think they're a great sounding board for those guys, and that's during the course of practice. As we continue to move on, and the next group's getting the next series of plays, they got somebody that is a sounding board that has played the position, understands what it feels and looks like from within the pocket, and decisions, and seeing safety rotations, getting their eyes in the right place. I think those are all little tidbits that those guys can give them in a different way than somebody that hasn't been playing. And on game day too, I think those guys are a calm, sound voice for those guys on the sideline.